Just ahead, the #1 fighter as ranked by our criteria. An aircraft that proves the rule: if it looks right, it probably is. Counting down our list of the top 10 fighter aircraft of all time, it's time for the Top Gun, the best of the best. The P-51 Mustang. Manufacturer, North American Aviation. Power plant, one 1600 horsepower Packard-built Merlin 61 piston engine. Maximum speed, 703 kilometers per hour. Armament, 6 wing-mounted 50 caliber machine guns. There have been many famous contenders for the coveted title of best fighter aircraft of all time, but none could match the knockout punch delivered by the P-51 Mustang.
There's no doubt in my mind that the P-51D Mustang is the world's best ever fighter aircraft.
The cockpit is lovely. It's just feels like a fighter in the airplane. It has everything is right there. You have great visibility. If you really wanted to have a cool fighter cockpit, the Mustang encompasses that.
Its unique blend of superb handling, high performance, devastating firepower, and long-range endurance gives the P-51 its well-deserved place at the top of our list.
The Mustang is a nasty little shark. It's a killing machine.
One of a small number of aircraft to be conceived, developed, and put into wide-scale production within the 6-year span of the Second World War, the P-51 would eventually help establish air superiority over Nazi-occupied Europe. But in 1940, the Mustang was an aircraft with a poor reputation. Early models left much to be desired. At high altitudes, the P-51's Allison engine was woefully underpowered, and the fighter was no match for the Spitfire, the aircraft it had been designed to replace. But in 1942, the P-51's airframe was twinned with Britain's now famous Merlin engine, giving birth to the P-51D and to a legend.
If you were to put Spitfire up against the Mustang, the P-51, in a contest for which one comes up higher on the list, the Mustang would definitely earn itself a higher place because the Mustang solves so many of the problems of the Spitfire. It has got that extra bit of range. It has got that excellent supercharger that gives it that extra edge of high altitude performance. And it has got that heavier armament.
This Merlin-powered P-51 would become famous for its bomber escort missions. In the summer of 1943, the Allies launched a combined bombing offensive against Nazi Germany. The campaign was based on the belief that the heavily armed Flying Fortress and Liberator bombers could defend themselves against attacking German fighters. But the daylight raids suffered heavy losses, and it soon became obvious that the bombers needed the protection of a fighter escort. The introduction of the Mustang would change the course of the war.
The two things that were brilliant were simply to get a good engine into what was a pretty decent airframe. The other brilliance of it, which is another thing fought tooth and nail by the Air Force, was the belly tank.
Fitted with external drop tanks, the Mustang's range was extended to over 3,200 kilometers, making it the only fighter capable of protecting the Allied bombers on long-range, deep penetration raids.
It was the first fighter to go all the way to Berlin. That really was the crucial thing. It was fighting and destroying the enemy's center of gravity. It's the core of the fascist regime. You had to hit Berlin. You had to hit it day and night. And if you're going to do that in daylight, you had to be protected. And the only aircraft that could do that was the Mustang.
It did its mission better than any other airplane had done its mission before, particularly the long-range high-altitude escorts, and at altitude in that environment it was a lethal killing machine. It did a great job.
The Mustang performed its job so well that after its introduction in 1944, casualty rates for bomber crews were reduced by 75%. In fact, American P-51s destroyed almost 5,000 enemy aircraft in Europe, making it the highest-scoring US fighter in the theater.
It's an airplane that I just can't use enough superlatives about. And for me, the crucial factor is Reich Marshal Göring, the head of the Luftwaffe. In 1943, he came out of the German Air Ministry in Berlin, and there were fighter aircraft above. They were Mustangs. He recognized them, he turned to his aide, and he said, "The war's over. We've lost."
The Mustang scores brilliantly in nearly all categories. Its relatively simple construction and methodical layout are short on innovation, but in every other category, kill ratio, fear factor, production rating, and service length, the Mustang earns top marks. Each of the top 10 aircraft have helped shape the world, but it's the P-51 Mustang alone that deserves the title Best of the Best.